Yes. Okay, have to bring this up on here so I can see everybody's comments. Greetings. Hello, Grant Tilley. Okay, give me a sound check. Give me a sound check. Let me know that you can hear me. Sounds good to go. That's great. I'm glad it is good to go. Yes, good evening. I love all the good evenings, the hello sirs, the yes, all the things. Look how these chairs aren't even in the video. That's okay. Can I hear you with my eyes? So, good evening. Might as well go ahead and press the thumbs up button while you're at it. Just get this cord around here. How's the lighting? Everybody happy with the lighting? We have the sound down. We have all the lighting going. Soft. Yes. I hope everybody's doing well. Wrapped up a fighting pistol class this past weekend. It was awesome. There were actually two father-son groups in the class. So it was awesome. It was a great time. Well, you can thank me for the live, and I appreciate you thanking me, but thank you for watching the live. Because if you weren't here, I would just be here all by myself. Doesn't matter how loud of a professional I am if there's nobody to listen. I'm bringing the schedule up on this over here, so maybe we can look at the schedule together. Yes, we know all guns S/B. I guess that means should be. I've never seen that before. S/B Glocks, like S/B should be. I get what you did there. And so, what should all cars be? That's a great question. I'll come back to that in a moment. I'll say running. I would say reliable, but something preferably with below 20 miles per gallon fuel economy. Yeah, Richard, you're late. Alumni weekend, Richard. It is come and gone. Except if you're talking about the next one, which is next year. So, right. Dad life, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. 30-inch. Did you say 30-inch or 80-inch? I have a crack on my screen. We already gone over this. My phone's from demoing drills. I'll forget to take the phone out of my pocket. I'll be demoing a drill. I will remember that it's in my pocket during the drill, but so I don't burn a bad rep into my own brain, I just leave the phone in my pocket, and then if the phone gets crunched, and now I'm dealing with a line. So they get crunched so much that now I'm just leaving it. It's fine. I could show you, but it's a bright pink and white line strip going down. Let me show you what it looks like. Here you go. It's a bright pink and white line going down the screen. The fix for this, I don't have it here, but would be a black hair tie or a thin black rubber band. It would mask that line down the phone. It's down the screen. Garrett Matson, yes, thank you. Garrett says, it is awesome to hear that I will be continuing the legacy of training as many people as possible. Yes, so I've retired from my career as a state trooper. I did my little over 20 years, so it was a 20-year career with the state police. Prior to that, I was a city cop for 7 years, so I know, repetitive for most people. 27-year police officer, and I need a mission. And this is it. This is it. Continuing the legacy of Tactical Response and James Yeager. Yes, HireX, I'm going to be teaching all of the live fire classes from this point forward. So those OK classes, which will be great in OK, I will be there. Watch me pull the bait and switch and send someone else. I'm kidding. I'll be there. Yeah, Grant, this is not a career. And I appreciate you saying that, but it's as far as a second career, I've owned my own training company since 2018. It's called 3R Operations. It stands for the 3 R's of training: relevant, realistic, and recent. And so that has been great. I haven't had to advertise. There's nothing on my website. I do very little social media presence, and people refer people to me. And so in my classes, about half of the people are alumni, they're returning, and about half are new. And so coming on board here at Tactical Response and taking the legacy is not something I need to do. Something I want to do? Well, depending on how you look at it, do I need to do it? I do. But do I need to do it? Nah. But do I need to do it? Yes. Joey, how's Joey? He is doing great. He is doing great. #02 William, capital S. You're the host out there, so get some more people signed up. If you need to know who is coming to teach you, meaning me and my background, we can go over that. But get as many people as you can signed up. Now I will cap it. I will cap it at 14. So I don't know the exact number yet. I haven't looked, but if there's 14, then we're done. We're capped. This isn't going to be just as many people want to sign up as possible. I cap it at 4. I'm going to be capping classes at 14. If you're not in the first 14, you're going to have to pick a different class to get into. So Garrett asks, what are my thoughts on bringing back some of the less hold on, the chair is wiggling, doing the wiggle jiggle again in my ear. So it was because my leg was bumping it. So, which reminds me, I was driving along in my vehicle and I have there's something in the back. It was in the back. And every time I stop, I'm like, I'm going to get out and get that thing. There's something rattling in the cargo area of my SUV. And when the last time I stopped, I got out, it was a hanger. Wiggling, jiggling, rattling around back there. So, all right. So Garrett asks, what are your thoughts on bringing back some of the less common tactical response classes every once in a while? I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'm going to say this, get some folks together, tell me what you want, give me a date, and then I'll make the ultimate decision if we're going to do it or not. As far as right now, I'm not taking classes to Pennsylvania right now, as far as I know. And I'm going to say it like this. Please don't misinterpret this. Please don't misinterpret this. But if you're not, if you don't, I'm going to tread lightly with saying this because I don't want to come across a certain type of way, even though I really don't care about how I come across. If I am not good enough for you to travel to Camden, Tennessee area to take a class, I don't know what to tell you. Make it happen. Now, of course, there will be exceptions. There's the Oklahoma class, possibly the PA class, but like I said, 14 people in the classes, and I look forward to seeing you here. Please don't misinterpret that because I don't even know. I didn't even look at the name of who asked that. I just read the question about PA. And so it'll be worth it. And here's the other thing. I'm from New England originally, so PA is closer to where I'm originally from and where family is. So I'm not opposed to it. As Jaeger would call it, Pennsylvania, Pennsyltucky. And so I'm not opposed to it. But if I have to jump through so many hoops of range safety officers and getting approval to teach at a range, it isn't worth it to me. And it isn't worth it to you either. The class won't be what it should be. So the days of me, here's the thing, I don't have to beg. I really don't have to beg people to, can I please use your range? I won't do it. Willie Everett asked the question. I really hope that answered your question. Yeah, those Oklahoma classes, yes, those are an option if anybody's thinking about doing it. So those are in September. I'll bring up the calendar here. We'll look at this together. Well, I'll look at it and then I'll tell you. Here's the other thing about traveling, and I understand if you have family obligations, we all have that. Maybe not everybody, but we have family obligations, we have work obligations, we have these obligations, right? But people will find reasons to go do other things and devote all this time, but then they have an opportunity they'll have time to take a training class, but they're like, well, if the training class isn't going to come near me, then I'm not going. I will err on the side of, then you're probably not going to train with me. Yes, Frank, this is the way, but the video, this live stream isn't anywhere even near over at the moment. So yeah, the calendar. So those Oklahoma classes. Well, let's just go. I'll go through the calendar with you to tell you what's coming up. So this weekend is Immediate Action Medical here in Camden. That's July 25th. Kayla will be doing all of the medical classes. I don't even like blood. I know I said that before. I get it. It probably isn't funny the second or third time you've heard it. But Immediate Action Medical is this weekend. On August, so the next available fighting pistol class for you to sign up for is August 22nd. So that's the next one that has openings, is August 22nd. 14 people is what I'm allowing in class. And so will I make an exception? Probably not. But 14 people. Why? Because my attention needs to be, I'll say, can't be diluted amongst more than 14. Rick Takahashi in the comments section from Japan. I have some cool pictures together there. Takahashi. Is this Rick Takahashi? I can't tell if there's no surfboard emoji or anything, but if that's you, I have pictures with you. Nice. I have pictures I've never posted of us together. Right? Just think I'm buddies with a famous surfer, which is awesome. So yeah. Willie Everett, about those Pennsylvania classes, here's the thing. If we want to get together and get a date and you want to do the hosting, you want to get the range lined up, whatever we got to do, yes, or whatever you got to do, I'm good with it. But the moment it's going to have to be a ton of hoops to jump through for whatever range we're going to use, I'm not into it. So I'm wanting to take a fighting pistol class again. Do I need to contact Joey or somebody else? Paul Wilson asks. You're going to sign up right on the website. Sign up on the website. So we'll go through the calendar again. So fighting pistol, the next one that's available is August 22nd. After that, August 24th is immediate action medical. That's with Kayla. Also on the 24th is fighting rifle. That's with me. Then on the 26th is fighting shotgun. That's August 26th, fighting shotgun. And then fighting pistol again on August 29th, fighting pistol. On August 31st, fighting rifle. On September 2nd, fighting shotgun. Then on September 12th, immediate action medical. Then fighting pistol again on September 19th. September 19th. Then on the 21st, September 21st, advanced fighting pistol. Then on October 1st, fighting pistol. October 3rd, fighting rifle. October 5th, fighting shotgun. And those September classes are the ones that are in Oklahoma. October 15th, fighting pistol. Then on October 17th, vehicle tactics. And so it's coming up. Doesn't happen very often. 14 people is all I'm allowing in that class. That's it. There's no exception to this. And so 14 folks. I don't know where the number is yet for that class, but you better get signed up. Log on or go on the website, click the buy now, and sign up for the class. Vehicle tactics. I will have, if question comes up like what sort of vehicle are we going to use, I don't know. I have a range in New Hampshire that I use is where I've consistently taught my 3R operations classes, and I have a few vehicles up there. I have an older 4Runner. I have these are drivable too. So we shoot and they're actually drivable. So a 4Runner, a Dodge Caliber or something like that, one of these little mini SUVs with a hatch that pops open, and then a couple cars that we use to shoot in and around that I'll swap out every now and then. So for this class, I don't know what vehicles, I don't know the brand or make or model at the moment that we're going to use. Not that that's important, but they will get shot probably. Maybe as you learn how to use cover correctly. But if you're in a vehicle class, the vehicles that are being used in that class should be able to be hit by bullets. And so vehicle tactics is going to teach you how to gunfight in and around vehicles. So from the inside out and from the outside in and then around the vehicle. So the vehicle is just sort of in the way of other things. So, yes. Oh, okay, Willie. Yeah, so Willie said other alumni had everything arranged. Those were my first classes up there. Yeah, okay. He said he took fighting pistol in advance back in May in Pennsylvania. Awesome. So Paul Wilson, I hope that answered your question. Just go on the website, the calendar. Make sure when you click in there, if it's the Oklahoma class or the I almost said Pennsylvania, Tennessee class. I don't have the head count for the Oklahoma classes in front of me, but the 14 will be it. That'll be it. It's fighting pistol and advanced fighting pistol. All right, getting back to the calendar. So vehicle tactics, that'll be happening October 17th. I'll have a vehicle or two brought in for that, and we will do vehicle stuff. Here's the thing. So looking at statistics from the law enforcement world, there are a whole bunch of vehicles in the world out there in the public. And so these gunfights, when they happen out there in the world, statistically for law enforcement, someplace, whether it's local PD or state police or highway patrol, someplace between 60% and 80% of all OISs or officer involved shootings happen around vehicles. Okay. So when you're out in the public, there are vehicles around. It may not even have kicked off while you were outside a particular vehicle or inside a particular vehicle. It just happened around vehicles. So using cover and concealment. Cover, those blue barrels that people generally use and that we use, you'll see here, generally speaking, it's probably, and I understand the purpose of them, but this thing's probably not going to kick off with blue barrels between you and the threat. Maybe a concrete pillar or something, but if I had my way, which soon enough, if the logistics of getting vehicles can work out, cover for me would be vehicles, some sort of vehicle. So it's not a vehicle class. So it would be cover would be vehicles in an ideal world. Until then, we have to work with blue barrels and some sort of, sometimes I'll put up, to simulate cover, I'll put up what would be like three-dimensional box of some sort. So even if you go off to the side of it, it'll look like a square. So cool. So vehicle tactics is so Adam Hall says, vehicle tactics is one of the best classes if you have a good group of dudes. Yes, this is true. This is true. If you go to YouTube, if any of you go to YouTube and search tactical response, vehicle tactics, I have a video up on my channel, on 3R Operations channel. Pretty thorough video. If I had to guess, it's somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes long of a bunch of different drills from vehicle tactics. And so you can check those drills out, or check out that video of the drills. Oh, back to the schedule. Let's keep looking at the schedule together, or I'll keep reading the schedule to you. So on 10/24, October 24th is Fighting Pistol. On 10/31, October 31st is my 3R Operations Every Night Pistol on October 31st. It's 2 days, low light. And on November 5th is Fighting Rifle. Then on November 7th, right after Fighting Rifle, is my 3R Operations Every Night Long Gun. So fight all of the ways you learn how to run the rifle in Fighting Rifle, you will bring those things you learned, you will bring those to Every Night Long Gun. So I'm not going to teach you necessarily how to run a gun in that class. You need to show up with that already having been figured out. It doesn't have to be mastered, but you have to understand how to clear malfunctions, things like that. If not, I can make it work for you. Give you my version of malfunction clearing, which is consistent, reliable, and short. And then November 19th is Fighting Pistol, followed by 3R Operations Every Night Pistol again on November 21st. Also on November 21st is Immediate Action Medical. And then on December 5th is the Way of the Shotgun. Now, also in there, the Way of the Shotgun, you'll have Fighting Shotgun for the first 2 days. That is December 5th and 6th. And then Advanced Fighting Shotgun, December 7th and 8th. So that'll be in December. That's generally been a thing that's been happening around here every December, is the Way of the Shotgun. Shotguns are great, especially with all these drones and things flying around in the air. Shotguns have their place for a whole bunch of different things. So shotguns are legit. All right, Paul Wilson, I'm an alumni, and this would be first time I've ever took a class again. Well, you should take advantage of that. If it's Fighting Pistol, you probably get it for half price, right? So, yeah. So Grant Tilley, is every night long gun both rifle and shotgun? Yes, it is. So every night long gun, how I came up with that was if you have a long gun and a light on that long gun and or a pistol with a light and or not and or a handheld light, we can do it. And so instead of making every night pistol, every night rifle, every night shotgun, every night lever gun, every night single shot, just bring whatever long gun you have. So if it's a shotgun, if it's a rifle, if it's a lever gun, just bring it. And so, yes, the answer is whatever long gun you have. And I know somebody's going to say, what about this thing? Shotgun, rifle, lever gun, you want to bring it, we can do it. Every night long gun. And okay, Grant, you also asked the second part of that question was, and does every night pistol have to be taken first? Nope. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. I'll give you enough of how to run a pistol in that class that you'll have enough, but it is a long gun class. And so if people are toting around long guns and they come to class, I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on the pistol stuff, but you will get enough pistol stuff to leave there and still be effective at night with your pistol. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Garrett. Garrett says, if you haven't taken every night classes with Brian, some of the best low light classes around, most definitely a must take. The lecture alone was fantastic. Thank you, Garrett. For coming from a person, so Garrett trains with a whole bunch of people. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but Garrett trains with a lot of people. So for him to say that about me, I appreciate that. Thank you. Matt Harmon, every night flamethrower. Yes. If you look at the pictures, if you look at the pictures on the every night long gun on there, you'll see the flamethrower of the muzzle flash. All right, Grant, I'm glad that's what you were wanting to know. You're welcome. Thank you for inquiring about it. So yeah, so that's the schedule out till December. And then we'll see where it goes from there. What classes I put on the schedule, what classes I decide to teach, what classes I decide not to teach. We'll go from there. So last week, while we're waiting for comments and or questions, last week there was either last week or the week before, somebody brought up vehicle stuff. Like, what do you keep in the vehicle? And you see me, sometimes I get off on tangents and I forget to finish answering the question. And I was going through my vehicle and just sorting some stuff, and in some I'll say some designated vehicle maintenance time. And I found something in my vehicle, two things in my vehicle that I'm like, I forgot to finish. I forgot to finish the gear list of things that it wouldn't hurt you to have them in your vehicle, right? And so if you're a working police officer, even more so with this, but if you're somebody that aligns with being kind to animals and dogs that are loose and or whatever animal that could potentially have a leash on, have some sort of a thing. I mean, these are specific, but have some sort of a thing that you can attach to that dog. And so you don't have to try to hang on to the collar and or bear hug the dog as you're trying to make a phone call or hold the dog from running off. You just click this thing. This happens to be an SOE, Special Operations Equipment piece of kit, but you just latch that onto the collar and then you can hang on to that dog. And so, of course, I have a purple one as well. Why? Because purple denotes royalty. Yes. So I brought these in from the car to show. So have a leash in the vehicle so for in case you're driving and you see a dog on the loose, you can also get like a one size fits all collar or whatever, but the leash is important to have in the car because you could try to bear hug that dog or whatever, but you could just hold on to it with the leash till the owner gets there. So, and or control the dog a little bit better. What part of the year do you stop teaching every night classes? March, April. Yeah, when it starts staying lighter longer. So if it doesn't get light, if it doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock at night, that's okay. But yeah, and also what I have are the force on force, the blue guns and ammo. And so if for some reason it goes super late, could always use those guns, the blue guns. When I say blue guns, I mean the non-lethal training aids. If you hear somebody say NLTA, that's non-lethal training aid, gun and or ammo. They don't make the sound enough to disturb people. So. Mm-hmm. How many of you on here just chime in? I'm curious. I did a post on my Instagram saying that I'd be live tonight. How many of you are on here from that post? I'm curious. So it was on my 3R Operations account on Instagram, and I'm wondering how many of you saw that and then came here because of that. And so, any other questions, feel free. Or I'm going to get off on some tangents about something. Okay, so this past weekend, I taught fighting pistol. Like I said, among the students were two groups of father and son. So a father had their son, and another father had his son, and it was awesome. They didn't shoot next to one another, so they were split up. So there was space in between, so they could each have their own experience without their father and or son interacting with them. And so every time I teach fighting pistol, it reminds me how much the legacy, specifically that class, because that's the class that most people take here at Tactical Response, and it reminds me of how it is the best 2-day pistol class in the country still. And so there's a whole bunch of classes out there. If you're thinking about taking a firearms training class, train everywhere. I can only speak on behalf of my experience. And my experience is I've trained at a whole bunch of places. First training class was all the way back in 1996. We are now in 2026. That many decades later, I've trained at a lot of places, and Tactical Response Fighting Pistol is the best 2-day pistol class you can take in the world. And when I say the best in the world, it's because America does everything the best. So if it's the best in America, it's a given that it's the best in the entire world. Brandon, I saw a recent video shooting FRT in a rifle. What's your thoughts on them? They make the reset and the shooting faster. But yeah, they're good. They're good. You'll see if you go on my Instagram, you'll see me shooting one. You'll see me shooting a couple different guns with them. I believe it's on there. But my favorite gun to shoot an FRT in is a SIG MCX Rattler in 5.56 with the little barrel. Totally fun. Totally fun. If you shoot an MP5, they're fun. But an FRT and an MPX, a SIG MCX Rattler, about that big. It's got the folding arm brace. Thing is awesome. It's just fun to shoot. What do you guys want to talk about? Throw something out there. I'm curious. We're at 7:36. We've already been at this for a half an hour, a little over half an hour. You can bring up some controversial topic in the industry if you want. Doesn't mean I'll answer it, but it could get interesting. Let me go back to the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. I'll stay moving so you know that the feed didn't pause. Like if I just stand here and read, you may think that there's a glitch in the live stream. So, yeah. Here's the thing about training in Camden too. There is an atmosphere and feeling in the air when you're at the range here that is like no other. Extremely difficult to even explain in words. But after you're here, anybody that's been here can chime in the comments about this. It's unlike any other place. So I'll say this. I'll bring up something controversial. I'm trying this beard thing too. Usually I stay clean shaven, but trying the beard thing for a little bit makes me look a little bit older, right? Because if I shave it, I look too young, and then people are like, "Who's this young dude? Thinks he knows something." Genetics and years have been decent to me, so I probably don't look as old as I am. So I grow this out. So. Matt Harmon, it's like a spa for me, or like a spa for me. You meaning the range? Yeah, it's pretty awesome, isn't it? Garrett asks, here we go. What keys do you use to determine if students are understanding what you are conducting teaching blocks of instructions? Just if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. If they're doing it, that's great. But I think that's what you're asking me. If they're not doing it, I have to explain it a different way. And so it is our job as teachers to present the material. I believe we said this last week or the week before. It's not necessarily the delivery, it's how it's perceived, it's what they hear. So you may be saying something like one time, so there was a student had a pistol, and so insert magazine, reach up, rack the shit out of it. Right? So mag in, reach up, rack the shit out of it. And so I told this student, insert that mag, because they were gingerly pulling that thing back and riding it forward. There was a bunch of things that shouldn't have been going on, right? So rack the shit out of it. Well, what they did was they put a mag in, and then they racked the shit out of it. Rack. So it's like, whoa. So I've never seen somebody do that. They heard rack the shit out of it. What I meant was just rack the shit out of it. And so they thought it meant just keep racking. It was just, I look back at somebody that was there with me, and we both got a chuckle out of it. So, and they're probably going to watch this. The person, I don't know if the person that did it is going to watch and even know it was them, because they may not have even understood. Because I was like, whoa, just what I meant by rack the shit out of it was put it in, rack it, pull that thing sharply to the rear and let it go. One time. So, but the person that saw that's going to watch this, and I guarantee is going to laugh at that, because he's going to remember that, because we both looked at each other like, he racked the shit out of it. So that's on me as a teacher to say the right thing. So, yeah, thanks, Grant. I can vouch for that. There's something about that range. Yes, there is. Task failed successfully. Yes. Blake Chin. 9-hour drive for me. Camden is a great training range. Yes, it is. Listen, I drive about 19 hours. It would be 19 hours straight if I didn't take breaks. But I take breaks. Sometimes I get sleepy and I'll take a nap. You shouldn't drive when you're tired. You should definitely rest. What's really bad is if you get so tired you don't even realize you're driving anymore, and then you wake up like 3 hours later and you knocked off a bunch of mileage, and we're like, wow, that was interesting. And you're on the correct path. I've heard people say that happens. So, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about not going in on people in the industry. How about this? How about if you have a lane and it is your lane, stay in your lane. When you try to go out of that lane and you try to tell other people or try to critique what other people are doing or teaching, stay in your lane. It seems to be consistent with, and I don't understand why, but competition folks, with competition folks, it seems to be a consistent theme that they believe that is it. And I'm over here like, hey, we can all do this. We can all teach what we want to teach. Let the consumer decide who they want to learn from and what they want to learn. And so if competitions are your thing, great. Go do them. They're fun. It's awesome. I get it. But to think that running with the gun that way around a range is applicable for the world, you're doing yourself a disservice as an instructor telling people that. And so the as people will refer to it, the fundamentals of marksmanship, or the hard skills of grip, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger control, follow through, stance, all these things. Okay, that you may get some of that in competition, but my issue in competitions is between the shots being fired. So gun is going off and they're getting their hits. The moment that gun stops running, it's as if from that point to the next, wherever they're going to run off to, that block right there is not something that I believe somebody should be justifying as more awesome or more useful or more badass or more however they articulate it than a training class that teaches some sort of tactics. And so you have training classes and you have competitions, right? Should you be able to shoot fast and accurate? Absolutely. 100% positively, yes. However, should you also be responsible for where your muzzle goes? 100% positively, yes. Should you be aware of your surroundings out in the world and not point your gun at people? Yes. Should you be able to perform a reload on your gun with your finger off the trigger and above where the slide meets the frame? Yes. Absolutely. Should you be able to run a gun that is stock? Yes. And so we live in America. Free will is what we have. We have the choice to decide if we're gonna church our gun up with all sorts of things other than factory original and run around a competition range with the gun pointed everywhere with fingers on the trigger when we're performing reloads. Yeah, good, go do that. But understand that a whole bunch of that may not be transferable to the world outside the range for gunfighting. Okay? Now, on the flip side of it, the other side of the coin is tactical classes that teach tactics, right? Tactical response. If you're learning tactics and you apply tactics, meaning using cover correctly, meaning handling the gun responsibly with where the muzzle goes, and these other things, they may not be the most effective for the competition people. Okay, so is a competition a gunfight? No. But is a gunfight a competition? Yes. So somewhere in there, there's an overlap. And I wish it would be so nice if people could just leave each other alone. Competition people partake in their competitions. Tactic gunfighting places teach what they teach. The consumer takes all of it, puts it together, what fits for them. In the competition, they can do one thing. Out in the world, they can do another, and leave each other the hell alone. Leave each other the hell alone about my way is better and your way sucks. And it's just, to me, it is. I would like to think that we're all on this side of the freedom of doing what we want with our gun, whether we're out in the woods with our relative, maybe a son, maybe a brother, maybe a cousin, I don't know, but family shooting targets in the woods. It's great. We live in America. You should be able to do that. You should be able to partake in a friendly competition. You should also be able to partake in a training class without the worry of posting a video or some pictures from a tactical training class on the internet and having your competition buddy tell you how stupid you are. I read this stuff on the internet and I just simply don't understand it. Why can't people stay in their lane? I guess I'm not really looking for an answer because I don't believe there is a good one. Why can't people stay in their lane with these things? And generally, it's these competition folks going in on everybody else. A whole bunch of these folks that teach training classes, you don't see them negatively speaking about competitions. Me mainly, because I got better things to do. I'm teaching what I believe to be the best information at the time for my students to learn how to go out into the world with a gun, a spare mag, a flashlight, a knife, some medical equipment, a leash in case you find a loose dog, prepared. And so without going off on such a rant, there's a place for all of it. There's a place for all of it. Enjoy all of it. And so the next time you feel the need to go in on somebody else, tread lightly with that because they could probably go in on you. And if you partake in competitions and you're going to belittle your friends on the internet in the comments section about how the tactical training class that they took isn't as awesome as your competition, okay. But they're probably not telling you that. So just rant, I get it, but let everybody just do what they want to do. If people want to go take training classes, great. If people want to go do competitions, great. If you want to shoot guns in the woods with your relatives, great. Yeah, we should be able to do all of it. It's when we start going in on each other that I just can't align with that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have mindset, tactics, skill, and gear. Okay. Here's another rant I'm going to go off on. So don't worry. There is a plethora of stupid internet gun stuff that when very shortly from now, I'm going to start addressing this stuff. And here's the other thing. Before somebody thinks they're going to go in on me, please be at the same level. Please. 7 years as a full-time cop in a very busy city, over 20 years as a state trooper. First firearms training class in 1996, so attended a whole bunch of training with a whole bunch of other people. Okay, and not that this has anything to do with anything, but I do acting, I do stunt work, I have devoted my life to this gun handling, gunfighting stuff. It's the path that I'm on. Why am I here? Because there's no other company that aligns with it as much as Tactical Response. Mindset above all else. And so I'm seeing these videos online recently, a couple people that said mindset, and this comes around every few years, every several years, you'll say somebody's like, it's not about mindset, it's about whatever, right? You better be able to do whatever hard skills with your gun. Mindset is not it. Without the right mindset, people don't go get the hard skills. So yes, mindset is all the way at the top. And so people don't seek out things you could have the wrong mindset. So you could have the wrong mindset or the correct mindset, but mindset is what makes people go do this stuff. And so if you have the correct mindset, that's what gets you to go take a class or do a competition and learn the hard skills and then dry rep the hard skills and then practice the hard skills and then go test the hard skills. And so hard skills meaning fundamentals of marksmanship, all that stuff. And so without the right mindset, you're not going to tell me somebody's got mindset also is if at the end of the competition they take off that battle rig that they have on with all the magnets and all the flared magwells and anodized finishes on everything and put it in a case and leave unarmed. They absolutely do not have the correct mindset. And before someone goes in on me, please make sure we're on the same level. Please. Like you're going to be on a tangent again. I'm not even mad right now. This is fun for me. This is fun. But I hope that makes sense. The mindset trumps everything else. Without the mindset, we don't go do the thing. So, and also, could have the wrong mindset. Hey, Blade IMM. Don't ever make a stupid comment like that again. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna let that go very long. I'm kidding. No, but Blake, whoever you are, or Blade IMM says, I asked an instructor's buddy, a co-teacher, why he chose a particular length barrel. He said to me, quote, "Don't you ever ask me a stupid effing question like that again. Do you understand me?" Like that's not cool. That's not cool. So never mentioned it to the instructor, took 3+ classes with them. Yeah. So yeah, listen, it is our Blade. I'm saying this in response to you, but everybody will do well by hearing it. So it is easy as an instructor or a teacher to forget what it's like to be starting this journey. It is easy to forget. Why, and say to yourself, why doesn't this person know that? Like, how do they not know that? They don't know it because no one ever took the time to teach it to them. So if somebody has a question and they want to ask a question, yeah, and entertain the question. And so it is very easy to forget what it was like to be the new guy. It's very easy to forget what it is like to not know anything about this, be intimidated to ask anything because you don't want to come across as not knowing, or get that answer that you got from that guy about that rifle barrel length. So, yeah, funky. Mindset is the primary weapon, as Pat McNamara says. Blade, back in the day, when I was young in the 90s, Steven Seagal movies were like really awesome. I know people are going to have their opinion about Steven Seagal, but back in the day, in the 80s, the mid to late 80s action movies into the early 90s, Steven Seagal whipped some ass. And so I took Aikido for years, and my hair never got any awesomer. Blade, clarify what you mean by that. I stunted on fire down below. Tell me what you mean by that. I'm curious. If it's what I think it is, pretty cool. But before I say it's really cool and then you tell me it means something else, I'm like, oh, I didn't know what the new definition of stunted meant. That's right, David Forbes. Everyone hit the like button. Tactical response fighting pistol is always the correct answer and mindset. Blade, I was a pro stunt man, 25 years. Okay, so were you in SAG, like the Screen Actors Guild? I'm guessing yes, if that's the answer. That's awesome, Blade. So people always ask me what's the most recent stuff you've been in. So on Transformers 7, whatever it was called, Rise of the Beasts or whatever, I drove stunt cars on that. So drove stunt cars on Transformers 7. There's a movie on Netflix right now called The Good Nurse. In that movie, I have a scene with the lead actor Eddie Redmayne, and these are quick scenes because I had a full-time career that I was doing as well as a state trooper, but if time allotted, I could go do the stunt stuff or acting stuff. I always wanted to be a cop and an actor. Got to do both, and so there's a scene I'm in on The Good Nurse where I arrest I arrest the lead actor, The Good Nurse. Eddie Redmayne was the actor. There is a movie called Armageddon Time with I can't. His name eludes me, but I did stunts on that one. Those are the most recent three. And a few months ago, I drove stunt cars on a Ben Stiller show. About 3 or 4 months ago, I drove stunt cars on that show. So that's awesome, Blade. Blade, I tread lightly with it because some people misinterpret sometimes. But to me, I don't share my background because I'm flexing it. I share it in case somebody has a question about something. I can tell them how to do it. It's I'm we're only on this planet for we don't know how long, and which brings me to professionals. So you have a few different types of professionals. You have quiet professionals. Those are the ones who will keep information to themselves and they'll tell select people. Then there are silent professionals that won't tell anything to anybody about what they know. They feel as though they earned it, they're going to keep it. So we have the silent professional just keeps everything to themselves. You have the quiet professional that'll whisper things to people that he picks. And then you have loud people like me, loud professionals like me that are willing to share if there's an ear and they have a question, I'll give you an answer. If you don't like the answer, or if I don't have an answer, there is somebody that I know that I can call to ask them, hey, this person asked me this question. I don't know the answer. Never dealt with that before. What is the answer? And so yeah, so I appreciate that you interpreted it as me just sharing good news, if you will. hmm That's right, Garrett. Background is important. You can help people understand why you answer questions a certain way. hmm Blade, when you say in the academy, meaning what? Like I'm in the SAG. I'm in SAG, Screen Actors Guild. But if you're still doing that work, that's awesome. And Blade, forgive me. I'm answering all the questions with people here. If you don't want to put this in the comments, you don't have to. But how old are you? And what classes have you taken at Tactical Response? Don't feel obligated to answer. It's like me. I don't feel obligated to answer any of these questions. I choose what I answer. Yeah, Brian's background is a big gas mask. That's right. People ask, why do I drink with a straw? Why I drink with a straw? It's as simple as this. I'm trying to keep my teeth nice. That's it. It's not because I prefer it. Sometimes it's a pain when I don't have a straw. But coffee, drinks, there's just water with ice in here. There's just water with ice, but generally I drink with a straw so those liquids bypass my teeth and keep my teeth nice. The older you get, the more you realize you should take care of your teeth. What else we have? Any other questions, comments, concerns, clarification? Just going back and reading the comments, making sure I didn't miss anything. That's awesome, Blade. Cool. Nice. 60 years old. Young buck. Blade, have you trained here at Tactical Response? I can't remember with all the comments if you did or not. And Garrett, yes, background. When you say background is important, it can help people understand why you answer questions a certain way. What students should at least listen to answers. So, all right, Blade. Hey, Blade, thanks for being in the SAG brotherhood. Appreciate that. But you need to take a class here. You need to take a class. And so, yeah, vet your instructors. We talk about this, vet your instructors, right? Like, why should I be able to stand in front of you, tell you something, and you listen, right? Or especially spend your money on it, or even more importantly, take your time, because we don't take time, we don't get any more time. So the time you spend, I would argue, maybe not even argue, just say that it is more important than the money that you spend. And so the people that you're paying money and your time to, you should leave there better than when you arrived. And I get it. Some training classes, you show up and you learn something. You may learn what not to do. Yep. Blade, are you on at your young age? Are you on Instagram or anything? Maybe not. Is the bug out weekend going to happen again this year? That's not for me to decide. That's for all the people that want to do some bugging out. If folks want to do bug out weekend, we could do bug out weekend. Okay, I think this is a question because there's a question mark at the end, but learning what not to do is as important as learning what to do. What I mean by that is you'll go to a training class because you'll ask me, hey, should I go train with instructor so-and-so? And I'm going to say, absolutely. But what about, stop. Yes, absolutely go train with that person or go train with that company. Whoever you're going to ask me about, go train with them. Okay? You may take away from that class answers on things that you definitely do not want in your Rolodex. Blade, there's one for you. Rolodex. Half these people probably don't even know what that is. I mean, I'm 18 months away from being 50, so I'm only about 11 and a half years away behind you. But some of these people probably have no idea what a Rolodex is. It's a little paper file of people's phone numbers, address, and name, alphabetical order. But so you may figure out when you go to a class something that you definitely don't want to do, and then you're going to ask me, why did you say to go there? You asked if you should. I said yes. I will not be the person. No one's going to rope me into talking about some other instructor. Why? Because that's infectious. It's contagious. It is negative. And I wish that more people in the industry would stop trying to tear other people down. We've heard this before. Blowing someone else's candle out doesn't make yours any brighter. You're not going to be able to blow mine out anyways. You can try. It isn't going to happen. But attempting to make your school look better by degrading someone else's school, or attempting to make your shitty curriculum look better by talking about someone else's curriculum, that is not what you should be wasting your time on. Nice. Yeah. Is there anything you need to bring for the Oklahoma classes? Yeah, there's a gear list on there. You should go on to if you signed up, you should have gotten it, and or look on the page. It'll have the gear list that you should bring. But yes, water, trash cans. I mean, I don't know how many trash cans you need there, William S. Like a trash bag. And here's what I tend to do when I go to these, whether I'm instructing or if I'm a student, I always bring the little whatever Walmart-esque type store you shop at, you get the bags. And so I save them and I'll use them if I'm at a class or something like that. I just throw all my junk in there, wrap it up, and just put it on the baseboard of my vehicle, the floor of my vehicle. And then when I'm at a gas station getting fuel, I just throw it away. I get rid of what I bring. So if I turn up to a place, what showed up with me will be leaving. Any trash that I generate, it's part of my attempt to tread lightly in life. Also, if you're going to put water bottles in trash, whether it's a trash can or a trash bag that is yours or someone else's, find a place to dump the soda or water out, dump that stuff out, crunch up the bottle, and then put it in the garbage. That area that bottle, or even worse, like a gallon jug, that takes up space in that bag. Dump whatever liquid is in there out, because what's going to happen, it's going to go in there. Inevitably, it's going to pop open. The liquid is going to get with all the other trash, maybe food, whatever else is in there. It's going to leak out onto wherever you're at. So go dump out the liquids, crunch the bottles up, and then put them in the garbage. Why not do that? Oh, William, that's cool. Yeah, trash can. Um, Appreciate that, but as the host, do you have a list? If you don't have a list, then we should probably figure that out. Yes, Garrett, bringing ammo in cans, not boxes, so you have less trash at the range. So, yeah, get an ammo can, get either a 30 cal or a 50 cal ammo can. Take all the individual boxes, dump all of them into the ammo can. Then on some of the boxes, the cardboard boxes, before you throw them away, when you open the tab, someplace on the outside of the box or the inside of the box is going to be the lot number of that ammo from that manufacturer. So in case that ammo somehow damages your gun or detonates your gun, you have a lot number that you can contact the company with. So tear those ends of those boxes off, just a few of them, and throw them in with the ammo. So then you in the event that you have some catastrophic damage happen from that ammo, you can contact the company with the lot number. Yeah, William, send an email. That's cool. Please send an email. Reference me, Brian. Like, so whoever you're going to send that email to, use whatever one you've been using. It will get to me, and just say question for Brian. Put that in there, and then ask your questions. That's like a tack tip. Yes, that is definitely like a tack tip. It is no secret. I got that from James Yeager. Yeager also had in some of his ammo cans, he would put the ammo in, take a white marker, a paint marker, and draw a line and then write the number. Let's say 200 rounds in 9mm in the bottom of a 30 cal can, one of the skinnier cans. Draw a white line on the inside of the box, write 200, right? Let that dry, put 200 more in, draw another line, 200. So you know if it's somewhere in between the line, you have 150, 250, 350. If it's at the line, you generally have that. And somebody saw that one time and asked me, how do you know, though, exactly how much you have? I was, you have to be kidding me, right? It's a rough estimate. So, yeah. William, I look forward to meet. Have we ever met, William, before at an alumni or a class or anything? Maybe, maybe not. If not, I look forward to meeting you. Look, we're beyond the time. I didn't even see this. We're 10 minutes beyond when we should have ended, or the legacy approach of when we ended was 11 minutes ago. You guys want me to keep going? I'll keep going. We can put some questions in here. So once again, to recap, I will be teaching all of the live fire classes at Tactical Response here in Camden and those ones in Oklahoma. After those Oklahoma ones, you're going to have to come to Camden. I promise it is worth your time to come here. I promise. There's a hotel in town. I believe they give a discount to alumni, and so you can stay there. As far as classes someplace else, if somebody's a host and they want to host, there's a process for that. As far as the medical classes will be taught by Kayla, and 14 people's that's the max I'll put into a class is 14. And so the why is so I don't have to divide my attention too much. I need all of you to leave there happy with the amount of attention that you got from me. Yeah, William, isn't that cool? Like once you make the decision to train at any company, once you get over that, it's like they say the hardest thing you'll grab onto at the gym, the most difficult thing to grab onto at the gym is the handle of the front door. Once you've passed that, that was the tough part. Yeah, William, the Tactical Response alumni are like no other. As you know, it's been referred to as the Island of Misfit Toys. And so it is unlike any other alumni. I've never trained at another school where I've experienced the level of camaraderie, brotherhood, compassion, and understanding amongst the students that are there. If you're alumni and you're watching this, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. If you are not alumni, it won't make sense until you've attended a class. Then you will see. At Tactical Response classes, there's not a little group of people over there and then a little group of people over there. Dudes over here wearing like Hawaiian shirts, dudes over there wearing multicam, dudes over there with all their battle belts, dudes over there with their concealed carry stuff, a random husband, wife over here. It's not like that here. It is everybody meets one another. You will make lifelong friends at Tactical Response. You will meet people that are like-minded. As we know, if you own a gun right now, not even own a gun, I'll say this, the people that are watching, if you're watching, you know that you're that crazy gun person. Like the people around you are like, why do you carry a gun, right? The answer, first of all, when somebody asks you, why do you carry a gun? 2 reasons. Well, one, I'll leave it at one. The second one you have to come to class for, but the first one, to save a life. It's very simple. If somebody asks you, why do you carry a gun? To save a life. And if they don't understand that answer, there's nothing that's going to change their mind. And so, but if you've been thinking about training and you've been thinking about taking a training class and you're out there in the world feeling alienated to a certain degree by your friends, family, coworkers, and they're all, why do you carry a gun? You don't need a gun. All these things, right? You're that crazy gun guy to them. Here you will fit in with everybody else that understands why you carry a gun is akin to why you wear your seatbelt, right? We don't think we're going to get into a gunfight. We have a gun and some training to go along with it in the event we do have to get into a gunfight, right? And so we wear our seatbelt not because we think we're going to get into a gunfight or because we want to get into a gunfight. Wear our seatbelt. We don't want to get into a car accident or we don't think we're going to get into a car accident, but we have minimized seatbelts to a strap that goes over our shoulder, a strap that goes over our lap in the event that we get into an accident. We've minimized it to that. And so, but we still wear it. And so for people, when they say, well, why do you carry a gun? Or you must be wanting to use it and all these unnecessary things. You can ask those people, hey, do you have a fire extinguisher in your house? If they say no, it's not even worth having the debate with them. But if they're like, yeah, I have a fire extinguisher in my house. Where is it? Is it in the kitchen? Yeah, it's in the kitchen. Okay, you must want a kitchen fire then, so you can use that fire extinguisher, right? You must want one. And they're like, no, that's stupid. I'll be like, exactly. So you telling me that I must want to use my gun because I have all this training and I carry it around is even stupider. So, right. Mm-hmm. Joey Sankhouse, it's 100% true. He's referring to Tactical Response alumni. That's why I was taking class. That's why I was taking classes in Camden. It's a culture of its own. It definitely is. It can't explain it. It definitely is. But going back to what I was saying, if you're one of those people that has been thinking about taking a class, you don't know where to go, you're alienated by your friends and family because you're into guns and you're that crazy gun guy that they refer to you as, but we know that you're not. The tactical response is where you should take your class. Take a class. Yeah, Garrett, so much truth. Alumni are amazing. Tactical response alumni are amazing. Plus, you are part of a group that you are not the odd one out. So many like-minded people. Right. And there is a loose. I'll say there is a code of conduct, right? And of the tactical response alumni, you are expected to act a certain type of way. You are expected to carry yourself in a certain type of way, and over the years, it is no secret, the code of conduct, when broke, means you're probably not going to be in the circle anymore. And I understand that's unfortunate, but that code of conduct is important to the other members in the alumni group who did not stray or do something that they shouldn't have done. Take that for however you want. Hey, Ed. Yeah, when you say number one, decide to go. Right. That's the mindset part. That's the mindset part. You have to have the correct mindset to understand that you should attend a class. Use the layaway option if money is an issue. And here's the thing with the layaway, you could take and have your own layaway. I understand that chipping away, but you could get an envelope or a jar, put your own money in there, and then when you get to a certain amount, you have enough for a class. But you'll probably bust into that jar to go do things with that money that are less productive than a training class. But so yeah, the layaway could work. Yeah, I had that conversation about flashlights. Half of everyone's 24 hours is darkness. Yeah, you definitely need a flashlight. So yeah, flashlights are important to have around. So we talked about this before, but you should have a fighting light. So this one, once I turn this on a couple times, I'll just replace the batteries. I don't throw the batteries away that are in there. I'll use those for a utility light, and then I have a utility light. This is just a Surefire, and it's rechargeable. So the utility light you use for general purpose type stuff, meaning, do I know how full it is? I try to charge it every day, but if I forget to, it's still got an unknown amount of charge left. Where the fighting light is the one that I carry with me and don't activate until absolutely necessary and needed. And even after that, a couple times, turn it off. Like think you're in a tunnel on a highway, or you're in a building and there's some sort of an emergency, fire, part of the building collapses, a tunnel collapses, whatever, and you take out your fighting light or your primary light, you take it out and you don't know how much battery is in it because you've been using it, right? It'd be akin to shooting your gun a little bit and then putting it away, take it out, shoot it a little bit, put it away. So I need to know that light is fully charged. The utility light is also, I attempt to keep it as charged as possible. And I'll give you an example. So I go to the gas station today and I get fuel in my vehicle, and it was $5 or something. It was about a gallon. And the guy inside now chuckles at me when I come in, and he gets a kick out of the fact that I only put a gallon or two of gas in my vehicle. And it's because I keep it topped off. Right? If something happens to where you can't go get fuel, you should have fuel on hand, but you should be starting with a full tank. And so this is just the lifestyle that I live. I understand that the logistics of life may not allow for you to go to the gas station as often as I do, but you should look at half, like that's, we're getting empty. And so keep that fuel tank topped off. So today the guy behind the counter chuckled. He's like, he knows because I get a receipt, and I went in for a receipt, and it was just interesting because he like looked at me and shook his head, and I said, I like to keep it full. I like to keep it full. So. Yep, Garrett's got a medical condition that he can't see in the dark, so he carries his flashlight. That's right. Joey Sankhouse, I got to get out to alumni weekend at some point. I kick myself in the ass every time I miss it. You know, 2 alumni weekends would be even better than 1. 2. Why? Because if you can't make it to one, you better be able to make it to the other. And so 2 alumni weekends per year would be great. A year in between seeing all you folks is too long. I don't like going that long without seeing you folks. So I want to see each other more often. So 2 alumni per year may be the new way. Of course, 1 in July, and we'll throw 1, maybe even 3, maybe 1 in the spring, maybe in the fall. We'll see. I get it that the bug out weekend is one that's like midwinter. I understand that, but people may misinterpret what the bug out part means, right? So it's basically a New Year alumni meetup. Yes. Joey Sankhouse says, I'm sure a few of the people I know quietly wonder the same thing about me carrying a gun, but because I've gone to tactical response, I'm the first person they come to when they have a gun question. Of course, right? They're gonna come to you, right? Imagine if you tell them you don't carry a gun anymore, because tread lightly with people that don't carry guns. Why? Because they're gonna elect you for some stuff that you don't want to be elected for. You're gonna be out somewhere, and you're hanging out with people that don't carry guns. Right? Painting the picture for you. And so not meant to be funny either. It's going to be funny. Don't mean for it to be. But you're out to dinner with a bunch of people that want to be comfortable or don't even know any better and don't have a gun with them. And they're going to see something that they think, because they're untrained, a gun will solve. You knowing, because you saw it before they saw it, that it is not a gun problem. And then they say, hey, you got a gun, go solve that. And you think to yourself, I shouldn't be hanging out with people that aren't carrying guns. So, told you it was going to probably be funny, but it's serious as well. Yes, Mr. Isaac, can't wait to do a light video. A low light video, right? Carrying 2 lights is such a cheat code. Oh boy, cheat codes. Isaac, if you've been watching since the beginning, it's so good. If you just showed up, this is great. And I know that this could have ended 25 minutes ago, but I have the power to go over there and hit the button and shut the mic off and all that stuff, but I'm choosing to go a little bit longer. Yeah, Garrett says, I like how rechargeable lights are getting better. I get tired of going through so many batteries. I get tired of going through so many batteries at work. Right, yeah, it does get tiring because you end up with a bag of very good batteries, but not good enough to put in your fighting light, but almost too good to put in your utility light. And then they get mixed in with other ones, and then you get a bag full of akin to money of batteries. And so I feel your concern. I feel it. I used to have about 3 different bags. So a box, if they were boxed, they were brand new. The moment they'd get partially used, I'd write not new but great on the battery in little writing, and then I would write utility use only. And then I had a headlamp that was LED that would get every last little bit of juice out of CR123As. So then I would just write headlamp when it got down to that. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, gas station ATMs. Gas station ATMs. I heard this noise I was at the gas station getting gas 2 days ago, topping off with about 3/4 of a gallon, and I hear all this clattering over behind, and I see these heads, these ladies' heads, and I said, "That what is that noise? Like, what is the clattering noise? I have to look." Curiosity got the best of me, so I peek around the corner right as I see the girl hip check this machine, and I hear a bunch of clattering. She was putting quarters in this little gambling machine where you put the coin in and the coin goes down the chute and it lands, and there's this apparatus that is going forward and backwards, and it pushes quarters into the drawer or into the slot, and then you get all the quarters. I looked over there as she hip checked this machine to get all the quarters that were right on the edge to fall, and that's what the clatter was. She's over there hip checking the machine to try to get more quarters out of it. And right next to that was a change exchanger, like you'd see at a laundromat, where you put the money in and it gives you change. So I don't know how long these ladies were in there hip checking them machines for, but the guy behind the counter, he didn't even seem to care. It was pretty funny. Yeah, that's right, Isaac. We did have that conversation at alumni. And listen, if you missed alumni this year, you all missed a great alumni. There was amongst a bunch of anonymous people. When I say anonymous people, you'll have those people at alumni that are pretty quiet. They're just there, maybe for their first time, taking it all in, thinking to themselves, "This is awesome. This is so awesome." Then you have the people that have been there a bunch, and so they're talking. And then you have people like Don Edwards from Green Line Tactical. He didn't even put a class on this year, and he was here hanging out. Mr. Isaac, who has been training at this company. If I get the year wrong, Mr. Isaac, I am sorry, but I believe 2004-ish. He's been training and he's still showing up. He is also on the board of directors of the NRA. So if you're not a part of the NRA, you definitely should be. And I don't want to hear anything about, well, they're this or they're that. You have to get people in there to change things. It isn't going to change by complaining from the outside. So he's on the board of directors. If you're a lifetime member, you get to vote on that. So every year, whenever that pamphlet comes out, I always fill in the dot for his name only, and then I send him a picture. I blow up his phone with a picture, and the social media I tag. And so Isaac was at alumni. Nate, if you guys know Nate, he was there. David Jordan turned up. David Jordan is an OG instructor here at Tactical Response, and a bunch of other great folks. And so if you didn't make it to alumni this year, and of course I was there, of course I turned up, and so I'm retired, so here I am, and it was good. So next year you should all consider being here. No, not even consider it, just make it happen. Garrett, you're welcome for the time. Thank you for hanging out. Because listen, this is live. You could be watching. There's a whole bunch of other degeneracy on the internet that you could probably be looking at. But here we are, right? It's good. And I'll say this. The alumni, when you're around Tactical Response alumni, the I'll say the level of just a great human. It's just you're around a group of people that are just great humans to be around. It is such a great time. And the energy is positive, the people are positive, laughs in abundance, and learning going on. So, yes. All right, so next year, yeah, so you should start making plans now. I get it. Some of you people are so busy. Next year, I'll read Isaac's comment for the people that can't see the comments. He said, if they aren't there, meaning next year, they will miss the most American class they could ever take. Belt fed. Now let me look at a camera when I say this. Belt fed theory and operation. Why? Because you, as an American, should know how to run a belt fed gun. You should know that. Next year at Alumni, you'll have the opportunity to do just that. Learn it and shoot it. So start saving. How was that, Isaac? Was that good? This is great. You guys are great. Thumbs up button. Yeah, if you're going to hit the thumbs up button, go for it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? You should definitely know how to run a belt fed. You should know that. In the event, right? We all know that we don't need our gun, we just need a gun, right? And so we should all know as Americans should know how to run a belt fed. You don't need a belt fed, you just need someone that has one. And so a belt fed, learning how to do that is important. Willie Everett says, I might be just as interested in the belly fed class. Willie, I don't even know what the hell that means. That was that autocorrect got Isaac. Listen, maybe autocorrect just came up with another class, belly fed. I've heard Tim refer to some people as corn fed. What I like too, Jaeger used to say, Jaeger would come up with something. You know how Jaeger was he had an endless amount of ways to say certain things, and then Tim would take the way Jaeger said something, and then Tim would say it, and then Jaeger say, that's great that you're saying that, but I came up with that, and then Tim would try to take credit when Jaeger's the one that said it. I can't think of any of them right now what it was, but it's pretty good. It was so funny because Tim would just go off on her. He would say it more than Jaeger would say it, and Jaeger's like the one out. He's like, I'm the one that said that, and then now you're saying it. No, Blade asked if I ever get cast for work in LA, or do I fly for California for auditions, or do I do Zoom audiences? No, I don't have any representation. I got a couple friends in the industry that are just like, hey, listen, we need somebody that can show up, run a gun, drive a car, act like an assassin, do a cop part, and or just be a general, a person that follows directions in front of the camera while doing any of those things, driving, shooting, gun handling, looking the part. And I'm like, I'll be there, or I can't be there. And so I don't audition. I don't go to auditions. I don't have an agent. I just will get a call from some people that I know that are more than awesome, and they'll say, I got a thing for you, and I'll say thanks. So hope that answers your question. Blade, I missed it. Do you have Instagram? I missed that part. Yeah, Blade, the stunt work and acting stuff has worked out great. And I just get a call like, hey, do you want this? And so, yeah, that's how I do it. So, Blade, I'll give you my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, then send me a DM or just send me something and say it's you. Mine is 3R operations. So the number 3, the letter R, operations. It's a red, white, and black logo. So yeah. Send me a DM, Blade, and we will link up like them rounds in the belt fed theory and operation class. That could almost been a freestyle there. What else? Anybody got any? There's 30 people in here. It's pretty good. Any questions, comments? Because we're 37 minutes past when it usually ends. And I don't mind. We're here. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. Think of something else I can talk about. Here's a freebie. I'll give this to you. This is something generally paying students would get. But if this saves somebody from doing this from this point forward, great. So here's a freebie. Since you all hung out 38 minutes past the end, I'll give you this freebie. If we're talking gun-mounted lights versus handheld lights, so if you have a handheld light and you have a gun-mounted light, meaning a light on your gun, that is still a gun with a light attached to it, okay? And so activating that gun-mounted light, if you've heard this before, my opinion on this and my teaching on this remains the same. The gun-mounted light should only be activated with your support hand. So whatever switch or toggle and or way you activate that gun-mounted light should only be performed with your support hand. Why? Is because if you turn it on any other way, from the primary hand's trigger finger, your trigger finger, you run the risk under stress of getting a trigger press when you activate that light. So the freebie is this. There's only 2 ways to turn on your gun-mounted light that I teach. One, if your support hand is available, whether you have a light in your hand or not. So if I was using the handheld light and I want to turn the gun-mounted light on, I just click the light on, however your particular gun-mounted light turns on, and I get that two-handed grip. I don't get rid of this light because I'm going to need this light in a minute to search with things while this gun is up or down. So gun-mounted light, activation with support hand, 2 hands on the gun. It is, yes, I understand it's a compromised grip, but under stress, you're not dropping this thing anyways. And plus you need it in a moment. So gun-mounted light, support hand activation and deactivation. So I'll turn it on and turn it off with my support hand. If your support hand is not available, you will use the environment, meaning hook the button, the activation button on that light on something, whether it's a table, whether it's a wall, whether it's your holster, whatever it is, you'll use the environment. So those are your 2 ways you're going to turn your gun-mounted light on. If you use your trigger finger, you have however many thousands of reps of going from here to here, from here to here. So we have a pathway in our brain akin to a well-paved highway, okay? And so under stress, no problem. You can reach down here, click the gun-mounted light on, and then put your finger back up on there. When there's no stress, you can go from here, click the light on, and put your finger back up above where the slide meets the frame, off the trigger. However, under stress, we are now going to go back to what we've done mastered, meaning trigger press. So we go from here to here, from here to here. So an off-ramp from this well-myelinated or well-paved pathway in your brain, the off-ramp under stress of going from here to back up there doesn't exist. I have videos that I show in my class of this. Competent police officers, guys and folks that are not, they're not failing because of a lack of effort or because they're slow or because they're not trying. They're literally getting all the way down, turning light on, and the finger keeps going, and you get a trigger press with it. So if you have, from this point forward, no more reps of turning the gun mounted light on with your trigger finger. That trigger finger is made for one thing, pressing the trigger. Or you're either on the trigger or you are not. There's nothing in between. You're right. And so turn that gun mounted light on, support hand gun mounted light activation, whatever it is, right? And or if this hand is not available, if your support hand is not available, use the environment to click that light on. So you can dry rep that. And we will not be using the index finger. So there were some agencies in the past that have taught people taught their officers for efficiency, turn that gun mounted light on with your trigger finger, right? Okay, no problem in training, but what happened under stress, a few of these agencies had issues with pressing all the way through and getting a shot, and then wondering, wow, why are they getting a shot? A gunshot, like a trigger press, when they didn't want it. All they wanted was the gun mounted light. Under stress, they turn a light on, and then boom, the finger comes all the way through, and then they get the bang. And so, what do you think they did? Do you think they improved their training, or do you think they took away the lights? They took away the lights, of course, because why would you try to address the software issue when you can just remove the hardware? And so they removed the hardware and they didn't address the software issue. So addressing the software issue is, hey, listen, if that gun mounted light needs to go on in training, rep it out the same way you would under stress, meaning finger off trigger, I need to turn that gun mounted light on. Turn the gun mounted light on with your support hand. If that's unavailable, use the environment. Click it on with something on the environment. And then turn it off with something on the environment. So there's your freebie. Thanks for hanging out. I hope somebody found that useful. But yeah. Yeah, people do all sorts of silly things with the gun mounted lights, right? And so I am not for removing hardware because the software of the person running the hardware is incompetent, because there are competent people that will take advantage of the hardware that is offered to them. And so that cop, while he's looking for something in the car or doing whatever, directing traffic or whatever with the gun mounted light, I would just hope that the agency doesn't remove the gun mounted lights because one person decides to be negligent with the light. So yeah, Garrett says, I still remember the look we had at class when the block of instruction about dropping things from your support hand. Yeah, so I'll show videos. It's called interlimb coordination. I'm going to give credit to a company, Centrifuge Training, Will Petty. So Centrifuge Training, Will Petty. People can say what they want about him, his program, and that company, but he's ahead of the curve. He bases his information on data, and he bases his information on thousands of videos that he reviews. And the guy is just a pleasure to listen to. The guy is a pleasure to learn from. His classes are a pleasure to be a part of. And so if you get a chance to take a Centrifuge Training class, Centrifuge Training is owned by Will Petty, you should. You most certainly should. Especially if you're into the sports science of this gunfighting stuff, if you're into the mind portion of it, mindset, right? And so you should definitely take a class with Centrifuge Training if you get a chance, and specifically if you get a chance with Will Petty. But any of his instructors will deliver the curriculum, and you'll have a good time and learn a whole bunch of things. William asks, Ranger bands, good, bad, or doesn't matter? Recently changed an inner tube on a bicycle, so I have infinite rubber bands now. Currently using them for sling management when not in use. I mean, as long as the bands aren't getting in the way of operating other stuff, right? So if we're going to run, I'll see people put stuff around their stock, and I'm like, how much have you ran that charging handle, right, with that around the stock? And if you can run the charging handle all the way to the rear and let it go without any of the apparatus that you have put on the stock, interfering with the function of the charging handle, which is more important than whatever it was you put on the stock, okay then. But if those Ranger bands retain your sling, yeah, sure, use them as long as they don't interfere with the operation of anything else. Weirdly blocking the ejection port somehow, weirdly rubbing against one of your lights, the buttons on the light or something. Yeah, so I'm okay with Ranger bands or whatever other sling management you want. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see my recommendation for the minimalist sling. The minimalist sling. It folds. There's a little hook in the back. You hook it, you push it forward, and it's tight against the gun. It's, in my opinion, the most reliable minimalist sling. But here's the thing: everybody, like, there's so many good slings out there. There are so many good slings out there. So a sling to the rifle is akin to the holster for a pistol. It's a way to retain your gun. But if we don't want the sling, meaning if we're doing vehicle work, doing vehicle work with that gun, and or something in the house where we don't want the sling getting caught up on a doorknob or chair, edge of a chair or something, then we want that sling attached to the gun. But we do want to be able to use the sling if need be. So Blade asks, do I have constructive criticism on Craig Douglas's curriculum? So Craig Douglas's curriculum, specifically ECQC, is legit. So in fighting pistol, we have a drill that involves shooting right at the target. It's called retention position. So the gun is where we maintain control, and the target is here. Some people will refer to that as bad breath distance. My way of referring to it is transaction distance. So I'm at transaction distance right here. And so fighting pistol, tactical response fighting pistol, is from here out, meaning from here out. Craig Douglas, ECQC, is from here in. And so you're here in. And so I hope that makes sense. So as far as constructive criticism, I would say you need to go take the class if given the opportunity. It's a physical class. You'll do a little bit of shooting, ECQC, and you should definitely take that class. That is, you'll hear people refer to that class as equally as important as fighting pistol is from here in. So from here out, for the drills of tactical response fighting pistol, ECQC is from there in. Transaction distance in, fighting pistol is transaction distance and out. Hope that answers your question. Yeah, Isaac says, one of the toughest physical classes I've done. Yes. It is. But Blade, you're young. We've already gone over that. You're young. We've already gone over that. You do stunt work. So it'll be a breeze for you. You're fine. Go take it. But do understand, Isaac is pretty burly and tough and big. And I mean, if he's saying it's one of the toughest classes he's done, that's his opinion. So it's physical. This is like when somebody asks me, does force on force hurt? And I'm like, it's like, it stings a little. And then people will post a picture of like blood dripping out of a hole that a scab has produced, or that a round has produced, and it's all scabby. And I'll be like, take that picture down. It looks way worse than it is. It stung. It broke the skin a little bit. But by you putting a picture of force on force damage that you sustained in class, you may convince somebody to not come to class who was on the fence. It stings a little bit. Get over it. You'll be better after the class. Yes, Mr. Blade. You're welcome. Yeah, it is always packed. If you notice what Isaac said to you there, he said do it. You'll learn a ton. And he also said, let him know when you're taking it. He has a standing invite with Craig. He'll go and play with you. We've already established, he just said it's one of the most physically demanding classes you can take. He just said he'll come and play with you. So you should. Mm-hmm. Iowa. Stoked to take ECQC in October. Not a lot of good training here in Iowa. Riding is extremely dangerous because of seeing bad photos. All right, I'll go off on it. Here's a tangent. You want a tangent? I'll give you one. So, you see these people online, these critics, these online critics, and some of them have legit resumes. Like some of these people on the internet, all these people, and I know it's very it's cliche, whatever you want to say, but there's these people on the internet. It's like, oh, well, if you're listening to somebody on the internet, well, there's some people on the internet that have some legit backgrounds, but they say things that don't fit their background. Like if you look at who they are, and they're like, you shouldn't be shooting with somebody beyond where you are, beyond the firing line, if you will. And I'll look at this person's background, like, why are they saying that? And so they will then go one step further and try to report instructors and or businesses and or companies, firearms trainers, that they're shooting and people are beyond the line. They're like, I'm going to find out who this person's insurance is. I'm going to find out what their LLC is. And they're never going to get anything done. They're never going to call and report them and get them in trouble. It's never going to happen. But it's just static on the internet that they're chiming in on this. So I'll turn up with a comment and say, it'll be somebody riding on a motorcycle down the highway shooting fireworks on their seat, and I'll see those same people that critiqued shooting on the range in a training class under the watchful eye of a competent instructor with reliable gear, with known students. They're a little bit beyond the firing line, and some of these instructors on the internet get all bent out of shape over it. But then those same instructors will cheat. I'll see a comment on a video where somebody's standing on the seat of a motorcycle on a public highway with other citizens around shooting fireworks, and they're like, America. And then I come along and I'll say, aren't you the same person that was just berating and belittling and throwing shade on other firearms instructors for doing something that was still not violating any of the safety rules? Where's that consistent critique for something on a public highway that is not controlled, that is extremely negligent, with innocent people that are non-consenting adults in the presence of them? Of course they don't chime in. And of course I've offered to do a live stream with these people, and they say no. Or they just don't respond. Or they just say they're busy. So if somebody is going to throw shade, they should remain consistent with it. And I won't even... It has to be somebody that is a formidable opponent, by the way. So there's a rant for you. What's great is I get it. Like, I like how Garrett chimes in. That's my neck of the woods. I can help if you need ideas. Yeah, like what's great about Tactical Response Alumni, it is a group of folks who are willing to help one another. I mean, look at just in this live stream alone, we have people chiming in saying they'll take classes with you. We have people saying, hey, reach out. That's my area. I'll help you. And that is in a live stream with 31 people. Right, there's over 100,000 Tactical Response alumni, over 100,000 at this point. And so this legacy that James Yeager started is unlike any other. There is nothing like it. There's nothing like it. You can go to very large companies and train, and at the end, everybody goes away There's not much fist bumping. There's not much, hey brother this, hey friend that. There's none of that. It's just everybody kind of goes, maybe you got a certificate, and there's zero contact after that. You will meet lifelong friends here at Tactical Response. It's just the way it is. If you're going to a force on force class, here's something that you should do. If you're going to a force on force class where there are projectiles flying, meaning they're using them NLTA, non-lethal training aid, force on force guns, the safety protocol that you should pay attention to is if it's by the book, if you will. And so how I would describe it is, let's say you have 14 people in class. Make 2 lines of 7, even lines, facing each other with a couple of feet in between. Have them all self-check. So they will check themselves. So before you start the training, before you go in the area, whatever, check themselves from head to toe, right? Then I'll say this line over here, go over, step forward, and check them head to toe. Once you're done, step back so I know everybody's done. Okay, now this line, go forward and check all them, head to toe, and then come back. Once you're done, turn face up here, and the instructors will check you as you go by. So that should be minimum what is done. So a self-check, a buddy check, and an instructor check. One last check. It is the last safety net. Is right before the drill happens. Look at their gun. And I'm going to give Centrifuge Training Will Petty credit for this one. It is something that he teaches. It is just a pre-drill check. It takes 2 seconds. Maybe it takes 6 seconds to say, okay, blue gun, blue mags, blue NLTA ammo, we're good. And so it's that last check. It takes seconds to just confirm what they have on them. So self-check, buddy check, instructor check, and that last pre-drill check. And that check, anytime somebody leaves the area, maybe they have to go somewhere, they should be going with a partner. And when they come back, they both get checked. Self-check, buddy check, instructor check, and then the pre-drill check before they go in to do the scenario. Hi Rex says 2-hour live stream. I almost feel obligated to leave a tip. I know. Back when I was at work, I told guys, listen, for all the free knowledge I give everybody, I was going to put a tip cup on my desk. You just leave money in there as you see fit for what you learned. Yes, my friend Kyle is on here. Kyle is squared away. Kyle can shoot. He can shoot. He can run construction equipment extremely well too. Anybody looking for a skid steer? I know he's he's selling some skid steer or something like that. I want to look at the schedule again. I got to look at something. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. Seriously, appreciate it. Appreciate it. It was good in here, Kyle. We're an hour past. We're 2 hours in. This is great. All right, Isaac. Isaac just said, "Thank you for the weapon light tip. No one has talked about that in any of my low light classes." Yeah, Isaac, there's a whole bunch of stuff like that in my low light class, but that's the one thing that I can give right now that can hopefully save somebody from having an ND and then wondering, how did we get here? How did this happen, right? You're in your house, you go to turn the light on, or you're somewhere, and you go to turn that gun mounted light on, and you're a little bit stressed, and wham, you get that ND, right? As we know, there are only 2 people in the world, 2 types of people. people who have had an ND, negligent discharge, and candidates. We would prefer to just stay candidates. So I attempt to give those little nuggets of knowledge that will prevent people from having to become a person who has had an ND. Just hopefully my advice will just keep people a candidate. And so, yeah, that is, if you're going to turn that gun mount light on, the days to turn it on with the trigger finger should be behind you after today. So I appreciate. I was wondering if anybody was even listening. Nobody even chimed in. I'm like, that's something that I've had people in class say that was worth the price of admission for your low light class. And I'm like, wow, all that other stuff, the lecture, the videos, the demonstrations. I was like, that's what you took away, and they're like, yeah, that was great. So I appreciate, Isaac, you just took the time to say thank you for that, because I don't even know if anybody else heard it. You may have been the only one. As long as there's one to take something away from it, I'm good. It's good to have friends with digging equipment. I could say something right now. It's good to have friends with digging equipment. What makes you think they're going to show up to your house, though, and actually work with it? Oh, Kyle, that was for you. Yes. Yeah, take Every Night Pistol, Garrett. Take it again. You get it for half price. You get a big old discount on it. It's great. And you guys, Isaac and Garrett, listen, if the dates don't work on the schedule, the ones that I have on the schedule for Every Night Pistol, just pick a date and we'll do it. Check the schedule and just plug it in there somewhere. So Isaac says he's in for Every Night Pistol with Garrett. He says, let me make sure my favorite training partner gets her sight back and we can schedule it. Which allows me to ask this question. For anybody that hasn't had fighting pistol or hasn't had this perspective, I pose a question. Should people who can't see, people who are legally blind, be carrying guns? So think about that for a moment. Should people who are legally blind and or have no sight at the moment be carrying guns? My answer is 100% yes. Why? You don't need to be able to see to know you're being raped. Don't mean to be ugly about it, but yes. Yes. Even people that can't see should be carrying a gun. Blade chimed in, yes. Yes, he was same team, Blade. Same thought process. Yes. That's right. That's right, Kyle. LOL with the little tears. Frank, thanks for being here. Good night. That's right, Ed. That's right. Contact distance, transaction distances. That's right. Yeah, Garrett. Listen, Garrett remembers the lecture. You're going to start confusing people. So they got to come to class for that. This is going to turn into a 4-hour live stream. I start getting into vision. Kyle knows. Kyle's been through my low light block. Kyle, without getting into anything more than that, but he could chime in with like, his perspective on my low light. But Kyle, Garrett has trained with a whole bunch of people. Garrett is the police, and he is phenomenal shooter. Garrett rips. And so Garrett is all about timers. Garrett actually did a class at alumni weekend with timers. So Kyle, you would have loved it. You and Garrett would have been in your glory with each other. I mean, I'm not saying timers don't have their place, but they do. They definitely do. And the fast and accurate portion of shooting with a timer is important. And yep, Kyle, you and that other police officer named Garrett Matson would have would get along very well. Where was I going with that? Yeah. And so Kyle, Garrett has my low light, the full class. Kyle has gotten a glimpse of it, a few hours of it, a few hour block of it. So, yeah. Also, who says you'll be able to see? Pepper spray is a thing. Yeah, people are toting around everything these days. They got wasp spray, bug spray, bear spray, pepper spray. So there's all sorts of things that could go in your eyes. When I was on the road as a police officer, I wore Clear Eye Pro. I just kept Clear Eye Pro on. And people that didn't know me would ask about prescriptions. I said, no. And they would look at confused. And then later I realized what they meant. They thought that the Eye Pro was a prescription. It wasn't. It was just a clear, they were clear glasses. And the ones that I chose usually were Oakley with a frame around them. So they look nerdy kind of, because they had the black frame. The most current Oakleys that I wear are HNBL S. The S means slim, so they're a little bit slimmer. And I just wore Clear Eye Pro. You don't get to pick when the glass starts flying around in the vehicle, and you surely aren't going to have time to put on glasses. Also, when you approach a vehicle as a police officer, you walk up on the vehicle, whether you're driver's side approach, passenger side approach, whatever. You don't, cars driving by, kicking up rocks, I'm not even saying the threat aspect of what they could throw into your face, but vehicles going by on a highway, and or the other way, stuff falling off of trailers. I've had rocks falling off trailers as they're going by, and they're pelting you with this. Eye Pro, you only got 2 eyeballs. I say protect them. I generally, in my vehicle right now, look, lucky I don't have them on right now, but I have Eye Pro in the vehicle, a few sets, like they're around. And so same thing with Ear Pro. Ear Pro, I'd keep that close. And so at night, have the Ear Pro close. Electronic Ear Pro, so it amplifies sounds. But going back to the Eye Pro, yeah, keep Clear Eye Pro around and just wear it. Protects your eyes. And also, if somebody tries spraying some of that crap in your eyes, hopefully to protect it. So, Isaac, I'm going to address your comment in a moment. Also, who says you'll be able to see? Pepper spray is a thing. Yes. More than able folks. Well, Blake, those people need to carry it more than able folks. I say we should just all carry it. Yeah. Yeah, those big cans of pepper spray have some serious output. Back in the day, DefTech, Defense Technologies, made a fire extinguisher. Super high quality, too. The ones I've seen recently it wasn't almost like they were that good, but this was like a super high quality, very expensive pepper spray dispersion device. Thing was super expensive. I always wanted one, never got one. And then, would I have ever been able to use it anyways? I would have never got the opportunity. So, it was just such a cool thing. It was super high quality. Defense Technologies back in the day. So, let me see. Isaac, what did Isaac say? Isaac says, I like transition lenses for that same reason. Right, Isaac, I'll throw something out there for you to think about. So let's say you're outside and we have the transition lens on, right? So it's tinted, if you will, right? Or whatever, shaded, whatever the word is for that. And for some reason, there is an emergency inside the house. And now it's a low light type thing. And now we don't have Clear Eye Pro on. something to think about. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. All I'm saying is when people come to the low light class and they have transition lenses, they're generally not an issue because they change as the light changes. But pay attention and just see how fast your lenses change from tinted to clear. And if there's a delay there, how much time matters when we're running in the house to do something and it's a low light thing and there's an emergency where I need to get a gun out and a light and all these things and I'm waiting for my lenses to transition. Something to think about. Not saying it's right or wrong, just proposing something to think about. Kyle says, I love it all, brother. Me too. Me too. I definitely do too. Tactical Response has a class called Fast and Accurate Pistol and also Fast and Accurate Rifle. So it's the mindset approach to how to properly run timers, being fast and accurate with the Wyatt protocol, fight, assess, scan, top off. And Kyle, thank you for saying that. Kyle says, I appreciate you and I want the full class. Lucky to have trained with you and looking for more. I appreciate you saying that, Kyle. That's, I appreciate that. If tactical response needs spare iPro, I have a plastic bag full of iPro from work. That's cool if you have them. Can't hurt to have them on site. Garrett says, a great explanation. Things to think about. So many topics to gain information to make informed choices. Kyle knows me. Going back, Garrett, that's a good comment. But Kyle knows me when I'm clean shaven. Look at this, Kyle. It's grown it out a little bit. This is I shaved it. I had to shave it all off about a week ago. But now it's this. We're about a week in. What else you got? Anybody got any questions? Need any clarifications? Need me to go off on some rant about something? Because there's still 27 people here. Yeah, hey, if you're going over to, I just saw that John, it says 9 p.m. Central, got to jump and see what SOE made today. Ed, go chime in on that live stream. It says Brian A. Sayers says hello. Chime in on SOE's live stream and say Brian A. Sayers just got done with Tactical Responses live stream and he says, what's up? Oh, okay. All right, Ed, when he's live, tell him I said what's up. So one time I brought John I had this Steve Irwin figure. It was like a little Steve Irwin action figure. And I was going to stick it in one of his cages with his snakes. And when I didn't do it, I ended up giving it to him. And when I said, man, I was going to stick this in one of your snake cages and just see one day if you ever noticed it, like Steve Irwin was in with the snakes. He was like, man, I hope if you did that, they would have bit the shit out of you. He goes, and a lot of them aren't really nice to get bit by. He said they would have bit the shit out of you. So that's just kind of funny. All right, yeah, you know what? I'm going to write that down, the Oakleys. And bring the Oakleys. Listen, and I can do more live streams. Do any of you want more live streams? And if you do, pick a night. What night would you want me to do more live streams? You pick, and you pick, and I'll do it. No, these here, I don't know, HireX, if you heard my explanation on these last week, these are SOE leashes. But last week somebody asked about things I keep in my vehicle. What are some things you recommend keeping in the vehicle? And we went all over the normal things. Fire extinguisher. Of course, make sure your jack works. Make sure you got the proper tools. Make sure you have the key for the unlock for the wheel. Make sure you have some medical gear, some extra water, maybe some snacks, a blanket, maybe a pillow. whatever, rain gear, these types of things, right? Maybe a battery charger, all the things you would need, right? And then as I was sorting my vehicle, I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell somehow I got off on a tangent, surprising, right? About other things I keep in the car. So I keep these two in the vehicle in case I see a dog on the loose. Let's say it's running around. I keep these to attach to the dog. If the dog has a collar, I attach it to the collar and I can maintain control of that dog until the owner gets there, or I can bring it somewhere, right? Or any other animal that require a collar. But to answer your question, these are SOE. So we got the SOE logo there, got the SOE logo there. But I got these years ago. I've had these for years. I have a plethora of SOE stuff. So yes. Fridays would be good for a live. But Friday, like the weekend is here, right? So the weekend is here. I mean, I could, but it's like I would prefer to do a live stream on a day when everybody did something, like went to work and they're like, it's the first day back to work and now we're looking to just chill and watch a live stream. But Kyle says it's seasoned. Yes. What's that, Higher X? What did I recommend? I talked about a bunch of stuff. The iPro glasses thing has me thinking now. Yeah. And wearing the iPro when you're driving, that's not just for police officers also. That could just be you're driving along and you get into a collision, glass breaks, it's airborne, gets in your eye. It can't hurt to wear clear eye protection. It doesn't get in the way. And so just you're out in the world, anything, you're driving along, something falls off a bridge, you're behind a vehicle, something falls off, goes through your windshield, breaks your windshield, and that airborne glass, it's, protect those. Yeah. Protect your eyes. Garrett says, I'm always up for a live stream. Also would like tack tips, stupid internet gun stuff, training nuggets. Yeah, I am considering, well, not considering, I will be getting to all of those. How many of you, I'm curious, how many of you here, you can chime in. Yeah, the fuel cells are Higher X. Yeah, the fuel cells are good. They're just a little too big on me. The fuel cells are awesome. They're great. They're just, for me, they're a little bit larger. The lens area. Do you guys remember the tactical response background? Do you remember that? Where it said tactical response. It had the gun. It had Jaeger shooting down here. Do you guys remember that? So yeah, Garrett, to answer your question, yeah, my goal is to get all of those things going. But Ed, is he live yet over there? Is John live? If Ed don't answer me, that'll be my answer that he's live. Yes, Garrett. Yes, Garrett. All right, Isaac. Thank you. I appreciate Isaac. I appreciate you chiming in. I appreciate you getting with Garrett and squaring that away. Positive thoughts. And once Heather is up and running, we'll make that happen. So, talk to you soon, Isaac. Cool. Kyle, likewise. Hey, listen, Kyle says stay dangerous. Tactical Response started that, and what's interesting is Kyle has been saying that now for as long as I've known Kyle. He has said stay dangerous. As long as I've been coming to Tactical Response, I've heard that here was the first time I heard it. And so it's just cool because Kyle never even, he's not Tactical Response alumni, but he's been saying stay dangerous. And so that's legit. That's legit. And I know he says he heard it from somebody, but they heard that from Tactical Response alumni, whoever said that, because that's been here as long as I can remember it. That's been out since the very first videos that Jaeger was doing way back when. So yeah, but cool. So, all right, Kyle, you have a good night. Stay dangerous, my friend. As far as everybody else, we're about to call this. I'm about to call it. And Ed, you know your mission when you get over there on that live stream. Ed, do you ever comment on his live stream? Do you ever chime in? I'll make sure if Ed doesn't. All right, good. Yeah, you can all chime in. If you're all going over there to SOE's live stream whenever he starts, chime in. Tell him I said hello. You can tell him how I was featuring his products on the live stream tonight. Tell him I had some super limited, awesome purple leash, animal leash. Looking for an opossum to put it on. Don't have a collar though, probably, so whatever. All right, well, if there's no other questions, Marcus, geez, here we go. Marcus just chimes in. This still live? I'm super late. Well, yeah, you're more than late, Marcus. We're how long now? 2.5 hours in. You're an hour and a half past the finish line. +1 on the iPro. I keep tinted, amber, and clear in the vehicle and wear clear at work. Habit I picked up from the military. You can replace limbs and skin, but you only get one set of eyeballs. That's right. Marcus clicked. What'd you think, Marcus, when you clicked on it? You're like, the definitely still can't be live. It's been good in here. It's been a good time. It's funny because I watched the number of people watching goes down and then bumps back up. Marcus, you got any questions since you just turned up? Do you got any questions or anything that I can answer before we go? And then you can go back and watch the rest of the live stream. Yeah, no, it's not glitching. I'm still here. William S., what's all that code for? You're welcome, Marcus. I figured we could go on a rant about something, you know? Yeah, right. Chime in, like share this channel with people that you all know, people who are Tactical Response alumni. Maybe you haven't talked to them in a while, maybe whatever. Hit them up. Tell them, say, hey, there's this guy, Brian A. Sayers, on the live stream. Some of them, a lot of them will probably know who I am from the past. And tell them, hey, Brian's on the live streams. Brian is teaching all the live fire classes. Brian is proceeding with the legacy of Tactical Response and James Jaeger. And you should watch the live stream and ask questions. He doesn't mind going on rants. So yeah, 75 or more next week would be great. And here's another question I have. Opinion. Listen, I have a bunch of, when I say content, things that I have saved, videos of Jaeger talking and or videos that I have over the years of Jaeger. I shared one recently on my Instagram, and it got a bunch of likes and a bunch of shares. Is that something that you guys appreciate? Because here's the thing, I'm going to do it either way, whether people like it or not. I'm going to do it, but people need to be reminded. They need to be reminded from time to time to refresh their memory about the legacy of tactical response. And so that's why I shared that video, and it got a bunch of likes. So plan on that more, but did any of you guys see it? Maybe. If not, it's on my Instagram, and I'm going to start sharing more of those. Because frankly, some people, maybe they didn't. All right, Marcus, thank you. Yeah, clearly you saw it on my Instagram. Appreciate that. But yep, so I'll be doing that. All right, it's 9:28. We'll cut it at 9:30. If there's anything else you want, let me know before 9:30. As far as the schedule, go on Tactical Responses. Go on tacticalresponse.com. Look at the schedule. I'll be teaching all the live fire classes. I'm maxing the classes at 14 people though, so I'm not. So if it's more than 14, you just got to pick a different date. And so if it's on there, thank you, William, for sharing it. And so if it's on there, it's available. So sign up, get in the class, and whatever class you took in the past, maybe you had me as an adjunct instructor. From this point forward, though, I'll be lead instructor on the class. So if you had me in the past, you know what you're getting into. And so it is the curriculum, and I teach it as though James Jaeger is watching. And so from this point forward, jump into class. Even if you've had the class, you'll get my delivery of the curriculum. So you'll get the same curriculum that you've had with my delivery. Some people are like, oh, really? Yeah. Marcus, it means it'll be me. And of course, there may be somebody else there, but I have a whole bunch of stuff to say while delivering the curriculum. So, yeah, and okay, William S. Tell John, say, I have been nonstop and getting things in order. I have been nonstop. I barely even had time to eat, tell him. Tell him I have barely even had time to eat, but I will visit. And I like it to make sure you tell him that you put all of that in caps on the live stream. So, all right. So being that John is live, make sure you tell him that I'm cutting this live. So for everybody can go watch that live. Tell him I have his gear. Tell him that I say hello. So awesome. All right, everybody else. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you hanging in here all this time. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you didn't. Hopefully you did. It's a bunch of good folks. Hope to see you in a class. If you have any questions, reach out. Watch for next week's live stream. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And this is the way.